Welcome to the land of 10,000 snatches. All right, welcome to episode number 3 of 10,000 Snatches, the podcast. I am your host, Anthony James Angelus. And now, have you ever heard the study that correlates longer lives with people that floss their teeth on a regular basis? Now, I'm no scientist, but I know that correlation does not equal causation. And I believe that people are not necessarily living longer because of their good oral hygiene habits. I believe it has something more to do with the fact that they have the willpower to do on a daily basis what most of us only do the week or day before we go to the dentist, thinking that we are actually fooling anybody. Which leads us into where we left off last time. Book 2, Willpower. What is it? So I Googled the word willpower, and I could not have wished for a better response. My Google search defined willpower as, quote, control exerted to do something or restrain impulses, end quote. But more to the point, Google elaborated that, quote, most of our bad habits are due to laziness or lack of willpower, end quote. Now, for most people, that is a hard pill to swallow. What this means is that if we weren't so lazy and we had at least some willpower, we could restrain the impulses that constantly sabotage everything we do. And we could actually do something worthwhile with our lives and have some sort of control in the process. All right, that was the introduction to Book 2, Willpower. Now on to Chapter 1, Diet. You may be wondering why the chapter on diet comes before the chapter on exercise. That is because I now believe that unless you are a teenager or you work out like Michael Phelps training for the Olympics, you need to get your diet in check first if you ever want to achieve the body you've always wanted. Perhaps more importantly, if you read Book 1, Self-Love, and you are truly practicing self-love, your diet should reflect the love that you have for your body. Would somebody that truly loved their body ever intentionally consume something that they knew was bad for the body? Or would they strive to optimize the body with the right foods, the right amount, and at the right time? Therefore, knowledge is power. For what good is all the willpower in the world if you don't know which foods are bad, which foods are good, and when and how much you should eat? Which leads us into Chapter 2, Break Fast. If you look up the definition of the word breakfast, the last and final definition is a meal eaten after a period of fast. However, it is noted that with this definition, it is more often pronounced differently and spelled with a hyphen or as two words, such as break fast. Therefore, I would like you to use this definition and pronunciation and meditate on it. Then ask yourself, before you make break fast in the morning, how pathetic am I to say that I am breaking a fast with this morning meal when it has been less than 3 hours since I woke up in the middle of the night and had a snack? And prior to that, I ate a sandwich before I went to bed after eating a whole frozen pizza by myself just a few hours before. All right, Chapter 3, Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday, 2006. A classmate that was a devout Catholic sincerely asked me what I was planning to give up for Lent that year. Not being Catholic, I had never given anything up for Lent. So first, I asked him what he intended to give up for Lent. His answer? Chocolate. Now, for me, at the time, a young man that so gladly indulged in almost every hedonic pleasure, vice, and sin known to man, found it quite pathetic that this would-be devout Catholic thought that God, that guy that once asked Abraham to kill his son as a sacrifice to him, would find giving up chocolate for Lent a worthy sacrifice. Furthermore, didn't Lent have something to do with the temptation of Christ after he fasted in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights? And don't hardcore sects of religions fast from sunup to sundown during holy times of the year? Then I had a flashback from my youth. My Lutheran church had an overnight retreat called the 40-Hour Famine, in which, guess what? We didn't eat for 40 hours, trying to give us some perspective on the story of Jesus in the desert. 40 hours versus 40 days. But almost more importantly, that there were kids out there our age, that for them, our 40-hour famine was just a normal day. And for them, if they were lucky, they might get to eat some food tomorrow. So, I had my answer. I am giving up food for Lent. Chapter 4. I'm starving. Prior to deciding to give up food for Lent, I had read and taken to practice the diet and lifestyle outlined in Maximum Muscle, Minimum Fat: The Secret Science Behind Physical Transformation by Ori Hofmeckler. Now, I don't know if he was ahead of his time, but his life hacks, in contemporary terms, were basically intermittent fasting and ketogenics. So, long story short, I was no stranger to fasting and was ready to take on this challenge, even though I had no intention of going the entirety of Lent without food. I merely wanted to demonstrate my point that even one day of fasting was probably more worthy a sacrifice to God than giving up chocolate for all eternity let alone just for Lent. Anyways, I went 4 days without food, and on the 5th day, when I finally broke my fast, it wasn't because I was hungry. In fact, I wasn't hungry at all. I just wasn't sure if it was safe or healthy to fast any longer. But from this, I thank God every time I hear a whiny voice say, "I'm starving," knowing full well that not only is that person not starving, but that person clearly lacks willpower, discipline, and any sense of perspective. And I thank God for bestowing me all three. Chapter 5. Breakfast equals dinner. Here's the goal. Fasting every single day. After your head hits the pillow, you do not get to eat until dinner time the next day. No excuses. But it doesn't really matter when dinner time is exactly. 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 4 p.m., even 3 p.m. The whole point is that you went long enough that you can honestly say to yourself, I have fasted, and now I am breaking that fast. Chapter 6. Exercise. First things first. Don't even think about exercising until you have gotten your diet in check. Because guess what? You are going to work out on an empty stomach. Coffee with grass-fed butter, coconut oil, or MCT oil is the only exception, and it is also encouraged. And you do not get to eat after your workout unless you work out right before dinner. However, I prefer to work out in the morning. I feel a sense of accomplishment, and I am energized and ready to take on the day. So when you are ready, here's the goal. Exercise every single day. Now, it may seem like the hard part is doing it every day, but what is perhaps the hardest part is finding the balance between pushing yourself hard enough and pushing yourself too far. For when you overdo your workout today, you may be too sore to work out tomorrow, or you'd be ashamed to call your efforts that you put forth a workout. Finally, Chapter 7. Self-love for when you fail. Odds are that one day your willpower will fail you. Maybe you skip your workout. Maybe you cheat on your diet. Maybe you drink too much and you're hungover the next day. So you skip your workout and you cheat on your diet. And you hate how you feel. And you hate the world. And you hate yourself. But that's when self-love saves the day. Self-love says, hey man, it's okay. I still love you. I know how hard you've been working, and honestly, I am so proud of you for all that effort you put forth and all the willpower that you have developed. It's really impressive. Anyways, no need to hate yourself over one little slip up. Hey, for what it's worth, I forgive you. Let's forget about today, get a good night's sleep, and start fresh and strong tomorrow. All right, That was it for episode 3. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at 10,000 Snatches. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, the same name, 10,000 Snatches. And there you can find a few kettlebell workout videos that I have posted. The rite of passage workout, part 1 and 2 have been posted, and I hopefully should have part 3 posted by the end of the night. Thank you all. Much love. Have a great day.